You want to grab one of these? One of you want to do this one?
No, I get a towel. Can I get a towel?
That just means Amir's working hard. Right?
Huh?
That just means Amir's working hard
That's
this morning.
good. It's good to see. Thank you.
Do you think everybody's going to be good for practice today?
What'd you say?
Do you think everybody will be good to practice today?
We'll see.
Okay. I thought I'd ask you because we didn't know. I mean, it made sense that Kawhi wasn't feeling good, after you told us, but we wouldn't have known. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
And you don't always have this here between games for practice. So.
We gotta do a lot of practicing.
What do you got to do that won't get me in trouble for asking you?
Just clean up things offensively. Actually, doing better with our execution, and then working on our small lineup. Working on how to play when we're small, and then just clean up some things defensively. Some of our blitz stuff. Our fires, our low man activity. We're making a wrong rotation. So just we got to come in every day for 30 minutes just to clean up a lot of stuff that we're doing wrong. Then we just got to do that so we make sure we get it right.
Can you describe the challenge of trying to defend in the regular season when you know you have a good team and still trying to have enough leftovers to surprise teams when you do get to the playoffs?
I think you got to defend every night. It's not something you try to surprise people with. I think if you want to be a good team, an elite team in this league, you got to defend at a high level. And so the effort's there, but just the rotations are not right at times. We're not nudging, our switches. We're not being physical, So we're playing hard, but we're just not doing the little things that equate to getting stops and like finishing the possession and things like that.
Tommy, you mentioned the small ball lineup, implementing them in practice a little bit more, trying to get acclimated. I believe you've only played without a center about 10% of your minutes this season. Last year it was about 23%. I know some of that was because you came in with only Zeus as the only center on the roster, but getting the small ball unit kind of flowing together when they haven't played as much as they have in years past, what are the challenges with that?
Just spacing. I think understanding what we want to run, how we want to run it. I think those are the biggest things because now you don't have a five that's in the dunker, and now you're running small pick and rolls with the smaller guys. So just making sure we make sure we roll to give Kawhi, PG, and James opportunities to go one-on-one, give them spacing. If we set and we pop and they can shrink and load up, then you really don't get anything out of it. And so just our spacing, what we're supposed to do when we set picks, and then just continue to action. We got a lot of guys that are great, one-on-one players, but if you don't have it, then we got to make quick decisions. We got to get to the next action to create, some confusion or create opportunities for other guys to make plays as well. And so that's the things we got to get better at.
And also with Russ and small ball lineups, are you like having a guy who gets downhill pressure to the rim like he can? Does it also, in a way, kind of alleviate some of the problems of not having a center on the floor? Because on the offensive end, he can kind of bend defenses by acting as a roller.
Yeah, and that's good for us. But also, when we get stops, we got to play fast. And we did that in the fourth quarter. If teams are going to try to put their 5-man on T-man or put them on Russ, when Russ gets the rebound and he's pushing it, the five's not going to be able to keep up. So now the five has to go to Norm or PG or James or Kawhi, and so you still, you have an advantage there. So just having a mindset that when we do get stops, when we're playing the right way offensively, we got to get out and go. We can't be trotting up the court. We can't be walking up the court. When we get stops, we got to get out and run, especially when we're small.
What's the, I'm jumping too far, I don't know if we're going to talk to you after. What's the challenge of a road trip like the one you guys have coming up? I believe it's 7 games.
Just having a goal in mind of how many games you want to win. And then just taking, it's going to be a mental trip, just taking it game by game, not focusing on the 12 days we'll be gone, but just focusing on, one game at a time. And that has to be our mindset. And like I said, you want to be a good team, you got to win your fair amount of games on the road. And like I said, we'll be okay.
What have you found that's helped, maybe you as a player, to get through those extended road trips, time away from home?
I don't know, it don't bother me. So you got to ask the players.
I remember the first couple seasons you guys had Norm. It was kind of tough with the collection of guards that you had to find good lineups with him out there, but now this season he's a part of some of your best groups. What do you think has been the biggest difference between the first couple years when it was maybe tough to find the right combinations to now?
One, just Kawhi and PG both being healthy. So when we do play small, we got two smaller guards on the floor. Then, PG and Kawhi's on the floor. Then you have James, who's point guard, but he's 6'6". Russ is 6'4", but he's a great rebounder. And so now when you mix in the rotations, you look on the floor, Norm's the smallest guy we have on the floor every night, and so we were able to rebound the basketball, and then we were able to be better defensively as well. And so those were the challenges we had before in the past. Like, we were just so small. We weren't really good defensively. We couldn't rebound the basketball, and then point of attack wasn't really good for us defensively as well. And so now, with the guys we have now, it's an easy fit for Norm.
After the last Laker game, LeBron was asked about sort of what he thought of this iteration of the Clippers with Harden, and he said, "These are the Ty Lue Clippers." The Ty Lue Clippers kind of gassed you up.
Gas me up.
Making sure that. And then obviously you went to his birthday party. Like, is your relationship with him sort of different than it is with other guys you've coached throughout your career? It seems like you guys are extremely kind of bonded together.
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's my guy, and so had some great years in Cleveland together, won a championship, brought a championship to Cleveland, something that's never been done in that organization. And just, he has a lot of responsibility for my career as far as, first it was Doc who believed in me first and said I can coach when I know I couldn't coach. I mean, I didn't think I was going to be a coach. And then LeBron just, be able to coach him and be able to teach me on the fly, being a young coach at 38 years old, and just having the trust and belief in me, and just kind of helped me get better and better each year. And then winning a championship kind of helped solidify my coaching career right out the gate. And so we have a great bond. Even before I got to Cleveland, we were really good friends, and so that won't change.
I mean, last night he caught a bounce loss.
I saw it.
I mean, it's been a while since you guys were together in Cleveland. Did you think this far removed from that time you'd still be preparing for a 39-year-old playing at this level he's at?
I never thought about it. I just know we talked about in Cleveland that he had a chance to be the all-time leading scorer. He's like, man, no. And we just kind of always did it, coaches, year by year. If he scores this many points, this many years, like, he has a chance to do it. And but he does a great job of taking care of his body. Puts a lot of work into it, a lot of finances into it. And then he just approaches the game the right way. He's so smart. He understands how to score, without having the ball in his hands. He understands how to stay stealing points, getting out in transition, back cuts, offensive rebounds, quick steals and duckings on smaller guards. And so he just understands the game and plays it at a high level. So it really doesn't surprise me.
Is there an extra amount of pressure that you have to learn to deal with when you're coaching with him or against him, anything like that?
The pressures of it is when you have LeBron James, you're always expected to win, no matter if he's 50 years old. If he's playing, you're expected to win and expected to play at a high level. And so that just tells you, how great he is.
What has been the biggest challenge through the first two meetings with the Lakers that might not have been as big of a challenge as they were in years past?
Well, I think the first game, we traded away all of our fours, and James didn't play, so that was kind of like a different vibe. And then last game, they just played better than us. I thought they really was up for the game. I thought they did some, D-Ham did some things. They were really good as far as rotations and how he wanted to match up. They did some great things, schematic-wise, defensively, what they wanted to do and try to take us out. And so they had a really good game plan, and they played well. They played better than us. And so just for us, it's going to be the biggest things is, keeping LeBron and those guys out of transition, not turning the basketball over, taking care of the ball. That's number one. And then rebounding the basketball, keeping AD and Bron, those guys off the glass, and not letting them get, extra possession.
You always found in these big games against D'Angelo, that playing game he had, big contributor last time you guys played. What do you think of his kind of fit, trying to make it fit with LeBron and AD?
Well, he's a great scorer, and so he's an elite scorer, and so he likes to have the ball in his hands, and so when you're a point guard, you have to be able to do different things, especially if you're on the floor with LeBron. You have to play off the ball, which D'Angelo can do, he can catch and shoot. But he's a great pick and roll player as well, so he needs the ball in his hands. So just trying to figure out, that combination of, when LeBron's going to have it, when D'Lo's going to have it, and then Austin Reeves was a good pick and roll player as well, so it's just a different fit, like when you play with LeBron, because he can play all 5 positions, and so when you have a great player like that, guys have to be able to do different things, and so that's what D'Lo's trying to figure out, which in the last 6 games he's played, he's been playing at a high level, so they figured it out last year too, so it's not really a big thing. I don't know about people making a big deal of it. Like, he's a really, D'Lo's a good player, so he's gonna be able to figure it out and be able to make a change offensively, especially. So that's it. Yeah.
Let's get ready for Hoop Jab.